Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. And today we are continuing the Edgar Wright review series with Hot Fuzz or Tozuf. Uh, so, Hot Fuzz tells the story of Nicholas Angel, a tough as nails police officer from London who's transferred to a small town called Sanford, where he finds out that mildew may be afoot. So, continuing on with this Edgar Wright review series. So I'd never seen this before. I've heard about it. I've only seen one scene in this, the scene where they're trying to chase down the criminal. I think it's the guy in the hood. They're trying to chase him down, and Simon Pegg is like jumping over these hurdles and stuff, and then Nick Frost just kind of barrels through one of them. That I've seen. Everything else, nothing. I gotta say though, Nick Frost, Simon Pegg, great chemistry. They're put together as partners here. Frost plays Danny, the son of the police chief here. And like you think he's gonna be some kind of daddy's boy and he's stuck up, but he's actually not. He actually is a decent character. Story here is that Nicholas Angel, played by Simon Pegg, is transferred from London, as they keep calling it, to a small town called Sanford, where he's a tough as nails, gruff police officer, where he's always like his first night, before he even starts, he arrests a bunch of people, like underage kids drinking, and even arrests Danny. So he's tough. He takes no shit from anyone. And he starts to realize that there are murders being committed, but everybody keeps saying they were accidents because they look like accidents. And at one point, like, I started to think there's something else going on here. Everyone keeps saying it's accidents, and then he says, well, there hasn't been murder here for 20 years. A recorded murder for 20 years. I'm like, okay. So they're saying these people don't know what murder is? People don't know what murder is? I don't know. Doesn't make much sense. Especially when it gets to the point where the flower lady is killed by her own shears. And they keep saying, oh, she just tripped and fell on her own shears. And it's like, no, that doesn't happen. That is impossible. You can't trip and fall on your own shears. The shears would not be able to stand up. It's like, okay, say this. For example, these, can't see, hold on. They cannot stand on their own. Much like shears, they cannot stand on their own. So for someone to fall on them, it would not be able to happen. So I'm just saying, it makes no sense. Whoa, it's tipped. So yeah. So I started to realize Timothy Dalton plays Mr. Skinner, the owner of a grocery store. He comes off as the suspect, and Angel, suspects him right away. And of course, you're supposed to. He's the big suspect. But it turns out there's more than just him. There's like everybody. There's this neighborhood watch called the NWA. And no, Ice Cube ain't showing up with Easy and I don't know who else was in there. I don't know. I only know those two on the top of my head. Dr. Dre, is he in? I don't know. The Game? I don't know. But yeah. So they're called the NWA, and they're the secret group. And Danny is aware of them, but he didn't know that they were committing murders. I like how they set this up. Danny stabs him, Angel, in the chest, but we see beforehand, and it's very clever. He's here, gives him his badge and puts it right there. So when he's stabbed there, it doesn't kill him. He fakes it, and then they end up teaming up, and they convince the other police. Now, at first, I was getting frustrated with this movie because he tries to tell him something's going on, and no one is believing him. The cops make fun of him because this is supposedly a laid-back place. But what frustrates me is that it's more like people are dying, and they're just saying, "Oh, it was an accident." No, that's not how police works. That's not how the police work. If someone dies, you can't just say, "Oh, it was an accident." You have to investigate. You have to prove it was an accident. You can't just say, "Oh, it's like an accident to me. That's fine enough. Put it away." No, you have to do some kind of investigation. You have to do the forensics and all that stuff. You can't just say, "Oh, accident." No, you have to do something other than just say it's an accident. Unless you're that lazy, it makes no sense to me. That's why I started to think that someone's in on it. But it turns out that it was just the chief, played by Jim Broadbent, Danny's dad. It was just him who was in on it with a bunch of other members. The other police weren't in on it. Which is, you got like innkeeper, you have Skinner, a bunch of other people. But yeah, you got some standout British actors in this. You have Jim Broadbent, William Bradley, who played the First Doctor, a later incarnation of the First Doctor that met the 12th Doctor, Peter Capaldi's Doctor. You have what's his name? Martin Freeman's at the beginning of this, playing a police chief in London. There's another actor, I can't think of his name. There's another back of the thing, but not. Nope. Paul Freeman. Ivan Ooze. He has a cameo in this. A lot of good British actors in this. There's some of them that, Rafe Spall, who was also in Shaun of the Dead, he's in here. There's one of the Andrews. They're both named Andy. Andrew, Andy. Of the Andes. There's some good comedy. Like, where they're running down the street, he's chasing the bad guy, and he runs down the street and goes, "Oh, you mothers." And then it cuts, and there's a bunch of mothers walking their babies in the prams, as they say. I liked that. And then, like I said, the aforementioned chase scene, where, like, Simon Pegg does these jumps over the thing, and then there's a stuntman does a flip. And then Nick Frost just barrels through one. And I watched a video where Edgar Wright is talking about this, and he said that he had Nick Frost actually did this stunt. He had to run through it and then look back so that people would know that Nick Frost actually did the stunt. So that's pretty cool. And Simon Pegg does everything except for the last one. He does all the jumps except for the flip. That's a stunt man. So, but yeah. Fantastic scene. There's a joke with a water mine or whatever you call it that they have, and it doesn't go off, but then they take everything to the evidence room, and then it blows up the entire police station at the end. Okay. I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, it's a small town. Everyone knows their name. I do find it weird that there's a bunch of underage people in the bar, and they're like, "Oh, well, if we let them come in here because better do stuff in here, they get in trouble out there, right?" And it's like, that doesn't justify underage drinking. I mean, if you allow them to come in there, as long as they're not, you don't allow them to drink alcohol, I think that's fine, but I don't think that's what they were doing. I'm just saying. You got the signature editing that was the same in Shaun of the Dead, cuts and stuff. It's pretty cool. There's a supermarket fights that's pretty cool. They reference some action movies like Bad Boys 2. I'm like, why would you ever that? The movie sucks. But then you have like, I guess I'm the only one that thinks Bad Boys 2 sucks, which I don't understand that. Bad Boys, Bad Boys 2 sucks. I don't understand that because it's full of Michael Bay bullshit, and people say, oh, it's one of the best. No, first one is good. Second one is just there's too much Michael Bay stuff. Yeah, and this calls back, watching older movies like this, smoking indoors, video rentals in this place. Yep. Before that was a thing, but yeah. And the flavor of cornetto for this movie is original. What is that, vanilla or I'm not exactly sure. It's like an ice cream cone, but I can't remember. Like, strawberry was the first one. This is original. I don't know what original is supposed to be. I never had a cornetto before, but they do mention it. Yeah. Just don't even have much else to say about this movie. It was better than I wouldn't say it was better than I thought it was going to be, because I guess maybe I thought it was going to be better. It started out, and I was just kind of like, okay. I had frustrations right away because my Blu-ray player that I have in here in the living room, for some reason, it believes it has to be connected to the Wi-Fi because it has the Wi-Fi capabilities. But in order for it to let you watch something, like I can't, it has to be connected to the Wi-Fi. If it's not connected, it'll pop up. And I can't just, push go back and watch the movie because it'll pop up again. So I have to connect to the Wi-Fi to be able to watch the fucking movie. So for the first 5 to 10 minutes of this movie, I was busy trying to connect to the fucking Wi-Fi and it wouldn't work. Finally, I got it to work. It wasn't my Wi-Fi because my Xbox was connected, my phone was connected, so it was something with this, but I got it to work. So yeah, but I could hear what was going on, so I got the basic point. He's transferred London to Sanford, so yeah, the movie was fun. I'd have to say that when it comes to Hot Fuzz, it's pretty good. So, what are your thoughts on Hot Fuzz? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.